So I watched What's Love Got to Do with It the other day and absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for directing it.
My pleasure. Thank you. I love the fact that you loved it. It's heartening.
On the surface, it is very much a rom-com, but there is so much more to it. And I just kind of wanted to know how you define the film, or if you can even define a film like this.
I've never done a film in which I can define the film, because the moment I walk into a film defining it, I'm actually just definition is, it stops me from exploring the film. All the films I've ever done, every moment of every film is an exploration. In that exploration, if you are just by defining, you're confining. That's it. And I always say that about films. So I would not define it as a rom-com, but I was constantly said, oh, it's for marketing. You have to say it's a rom-com because it's a defined gesture. We know how to market a rom-com. Or you say it's an action film. It's a human film. It's a film about humanity. And when we were filming it in the middle of COVID, and everybody was talking that at the end of COVID, we're going to be different people because there was so little humanity. And I just wanted very hard for it to be real. So one of the things that I told my actors is, let's just do workshops and let's be real. I was told, Lily, find Zoe in yourself. I don't want you to play Zoe. I want you to be Zoe. I want, Shahzad to be Kaz or Shabana to be that. Even I want Emma Thompson to be Kaz. Now, when you are pushing your actors to that point of view and you make them trust you, then there's a certain reality that takes away from any kind of definition. So is it funny? Of course it's funny. The lines are funny. They understand that, but they don't have to be confined to that. Because when you look at rom-com, if you all the actors, there's a certain style of rom-com performing, which I just was too scared to do. I think I'll be very bad at it anyway. And so, yeah, it's fine. It's a rom-com, but it's human. It's a human film, especially at a time like this. We need people to go beyond definition, and we need people to go beyond identity. Suddenly you are, okay, this is a story about Muslims living in London, Asian Muslims living in London. No, it's not. My job and the actor's job is to take you away from that definition, take you away from that identity and allow you to come into their hearts and say, it's a film about us. Because unless you actually can get the audience to feel that this is a film about you, the number of people I've met, I was amazed. This very eccentric grandmother, it was amazing the number of people that came to me from all kinds of cultures. And my God, my grandmother is exactly like that. And you say, well, actually, it's a rom-com. No, you don't say that. Oh, well, actually, she's a Muslim, Asian Muslim. No, you don't say that. She's a grandmother. That's like a grandmother all over the world. And so in between all of that, my proudest moment of this film is all the actors are bringing the audiences into their hearts. So, yeah, but it's funny. It's inherent in the script. Those funny lines, and my God, Emma Thompson, I bet you, listen, I can tell you, when there's a director's cut, there's a lot more Emma Thompson than people would do. She was so funny that she would walk away with the film. And she knew that. But it was like, that was her. Emma has brilliance as an actor, but she's also a director. So she knows what a script needs. And those clothes and everything she developed herself. And the way she started to behave and throw her lines in, and you would be quite, and they could be like, what she says. So when she says, for example, oh my God, hasn't Kaz become so good looking? How could he doesn't even look Muslim. Like, so what do you mean? He could be Greek. And then you realize that she's saying something that should never be said, but she's saying it with this kind of sheer innocence, and you love her for it, but she's also making a point. That's how people look at them. That's how people are there. So she, I think, is one of the most brilliant performances in the film, because she keeps, and I wish there was more of her. There was more of her. So in a director's cut, you can see a lot more of her. Yeah. It's so much that people got a little scared. They're like, oh, Shekhar, the audiences might get upset. I said, they won't. Well, so far they're not, but there's more of it, I bet you they won't. So yeah. So everything I'm saying to you is trying to break away from the being confined by the idea of defining it as a rom-com.
I like it. I like it. Thank you for that. And kind of keeping with that idea of it being a human film, Shahzad and Lily are friends in real life, and I spoke with him yesterday, and he mentioned that you took their table tennis and put it into the film. So I was wondering, what else from their friendship did you bring in for these characters?
Yeah, I took that table tennis because I called them once and they were in some place and they were rehearsing, and we thought we rehearsed online. It was COVID, so we had to do that also. So what are you guys doing otherwise? They're playing table tennis. So I asked for a table tennis table in the production office, and we rehearsed so many other scenes in table tennis also because it took the edge away, So I actually never said this to anyone. I didn't ever say to them, I played on The Last Kiss. I don't know if I will reveal it because I knew they were such good friends. It would be very awkward for them. So I just didn't say anything, but I pushed them into it straight away. And there was this kind of sense of discovery and shyness and like, oh my God, what are we doing? It was just very, very beautiful that you or no other people don't know, but they were like best friends. Like, oh God, how do we do this? And I just put the camera on and I said, everybody disappear, let them work it out. And you saw what happened.
Yeah, it was a very, very organic and very natural feel to it, which was nice.
Yeah.
All right, I got the call for one more question. So my next question is, what else are you working on at the moment?
Well, my next thing, I hope, you never know, I've been wanting to make a film for years and years and years about the environment, especially yesterday was Earth Day, or was it today? Water. A film on water. And when I first started to write it and talk to people, they said, well, what's the issue? What's the problem? 20 years ago, when I was like, you were probably not just born then. And I could see people say, but we get water anytime we want. It's water. There's no issue. I said, no, not 90% of the people. And now when I say I'm going to make a film about water, that's it. That's the problem. You should. So in one way, it's very simple. It's about a time in the near future, and almost now, when a city divides itself between those that have water and those that don't. And if I give you one line, democracy exists, but democracy just says, hey, guys, you give us votes and we'll give you water. That's the world I'm dealing with.